Today we're going to be making a tax deductor in Python. So first we're going to need our tax brackets, and those will just be in this form. Tax equals, and there'll be a list, and we'll have the first value being the upper limit of that tax bracket, and then the next value will be the percent that it takes off. So we've got 1% here from the first $1,000. For the next $50,000, we can have 5%. And let's say if someone's got $1 million, then it'll be 50%. Now what we're going to want to do is have a function called deduce, and we will take the bracket and the amount that we're deducing. So let's say you make $10,000, that'll be right here, and then the bracket is just going to be this tax bracket here. Now what we're going to want to do is we say for, and because we have two values per item, we want to have two values here. So the first value is the limit, so we'll call it the limit. And the second value is the percent taxed. So I'll just say tax percent. And then we'll say that is in the bracket. The bracket is what we put right here. So we've got our limit and we've got our tax percent. Now I want to say our tax is equal to 0. So we'll do that outside of here first. We'll say tax equals 0 and last limit equals 0. This one will become important later on, but right now we're just going to say tax plus equals, and now we have to figure out the math to find what tax are we getting. So every bracket we're getting a certain amount of tax. For the first 10,000, that's 1%. So we have to get the minimum. And we have to find out which one has less. It's either going to be this percent right here, or it's going to be the total amount. So let's put in our amount here, and we're going to put in our limit. So whichever one is smaller, that's what this will give us. Then we want to say that that is actually not our tax, but our taxable amount. So this is just the amount that is actually taxable here. And then, of course, if we're somewhere like right here, we don't want to be taxing the 10,000 as the first amount. We just want to be taxing the next 900,000 or whatever it is. And so we want to subtract off our last limit. So whatever our last limit was, that's what we're subtracting off. And now here we can say last limit equals limit. So every time we go through the last limit will be the one that was last done. And here we want to actually make the tax difference. So we say tax plus equals taxable. This is the amount that is actually able to be taxed in this specific bracket. And we're going to multiply that by our tax percent. And in order to make it a percent, we have to divide it by 100. So we'll do that right here by saying tax percent. Let's make that have it proper spelling. Tax percent times 0.01. So it's going to make it the proper amount. And at the very end, once we've got all of this done, we can return our tax. So our tax has been going up from here, and now we're going to return it in the proper way. And let's just test this out. So if I say print 1 million, and that's the amount, and we want the bracket to be our tax here. Tax and 1 million. And if I just print this, and I have to make sure that I'm deducing it, this is just equals. And now press F5. There we go, perfect. That's 400,000. So if we're taking 1 million, we're going to get roughly 50% of it is gone. If you want to find out how much you have left, you take this amount, the amount that you originally had, and you subtract your deduction. To make it more readable, I'm just going to make a blank print statement here. And now I'll press F5 and it'll be a lot easier to read. There we go. So we've got $500,900, 0.0. So maybe we want it to be actually cool. So like if you have $sign here and you have 100 or 1,000, you want it to have 0.00, right? That's what you want with dollars. So in order to make that happen, we're going to say F. We're going to make this into a string. And we shall say here and there. Perfect. So it's basically going to say the same thing now, except for that's a string. And then ... point to F. And what this does is it gives us 2 decimal points no matter what. So if we press F5, it's going to say 522,900 and 0 cents. Perfect. So that's basically how you make a simple tax deduction thing. Thanks for watching.